Oh, hey, I didn't see you there. Hey guys, welcome back. It's Colin the Big Yosh back at it again. We're finally continuing the not the Marvel Marathon, but the Marvel Cinematic Universe reviews. It's been around 2 months, I think, since I did the last one. Um, and there's a couple reasons for that, but I'll explain them more in the actual review. Um, but yeah, Falcon and the Winter Soldier came out a while back, and I watched it week to week, and I definitely didn't enjoy it as much as WandaVision, but you'll hear more about it. But first, I wanted to let you guys know what's going to be going on in the channel a little bit. So I'm going to be doing, as you saw yesterday, I'm going to be doing some Cuphead S tier runs. I've been doing that lately, just for fun. I did all the main game bosses like a couple weeks back, and that was a lot of fun. I definitely should have recorded them, but I didn't because I just didn't think about it. So now I'm doing the DLC ones. And yeah, the watermark is there, and it's annoying. So once I get a better editing software, I might just redo them. I might just re-upload them and delete those original ones. Or if I just want to pay for that terrible software, why not? Also, I have a tier list that I'm gonna upload. It is on JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I did it with Paxat 360. It was a lot of fun. So I'm excited to upload that once I'm done editing it, because the editing software I used, it decided to delete all of the progress that I had made for like an hour and a half, and I couldn't get it back. So yeah, that's gonna be coming out when I'm finished editing that, re-editing that. But anyways, let's get into Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So this show came out right after WandaVision, maybe like a few weeks after, and I was pretty excited because I like those two. I like the Falcon, I like the Winter Soldier, Sam and Bucky. They're cool, but they're not the most interesting. So I was excited for this show to develop them. Kind of the same thing with WandaVision, actually. And I definitely enjoy WandaVision more. This show isn't terrible. It's not even really bad. It's just very average. Definitely kind of near the bottom of my whole MCU tier list. Like I said, it's not bad, but it's just average. It makes a lot of really dumb mistakes, and it does some really cool stuff as well. I really like what they do with the racial plot lines. Like, obviously, I'm not an expert on that stuff, but I really like the character of Isaiah, and I think it's unfortunately a pretty realistic plot line for that. And I did like how they resolved that story in the end. It's very emotionally resonant, and I like what they did with Sam as well. You could argue that they kind of squeezed it in there and it felt a little unnatural, but I didn't really mind because they did it well. And the other plot lines weren't too bad either, for the most part. Bucky's I thought was pretty good, but it kind of ended very early, which was a little disappointing. But the best thing that the show does in general is just make the two characters really great, really likable in general. And you actually want to see them become friends again after all the stuff they've seen together. They need to become friends. They need to help each other get over the loss of Steve, and the show does a really good job with that. They build up the bromance between them very well, and we get just one full episode just to having them become friends. It was episode 5, very good episode. But unfortunately, that is one of the last episodes, so you kind of spend a lot of the time spent in the show of them not really liking each other, and it kind of gets a little tiring. Episodes 1 and 2, they have to go to therapy, which is fine, but they have to go to therapy together with this and they're just really jokey, they just banter, and it's it's not really that entertaining to watch. In general, the first 2 episodes of this were not great. Actually, I'd argue the first 3 were not that great. um, in general, because they're really just, episode 1 is a okay setup, but it really just has Sam and Bucky just doing their thing, like living normal day lives, kind of like Squid Game or something, how they just showed like full episode, this is their normal life, and then we're gonna get them into adventure later. But episode 2 gives you a little more, and some of it was a little interesting. Some of the action scenes were a little interesting. And they introduced you to the character of John Walker, U.S. agent, and I think he was like really interesting. I don't know why everyone hated him, to be honest. Like, it was so weird to me because he was such an interesting character. I thought his growth was honestly pretty believable, because he never really wanted to do harm to anyone. He just got like rageful. So I thought that was honestly okay. That they made him turn evil, and then it was even more okay that they brought him back, because he never wanted to be like this monster. So him in general, John Walker, was probably my favorite part of the whole show. I thought he was really interesting. And anyways, you move on to episode 3, and it's really just this side quest with Baron Zemo, who I don't really like in this show. I really liked him in Civil War because he was just a really good threat, but in this show he's really just like a joke, so I don't take him seriously at all. I don't think that a lot of the humor in the show worked for me in general, to be honest. I think I just wanted it to be a little more serious, and normally I wouldn't say that because I normally like the MCU humor, but I guess I've gotten a little sick of it, and I'm starting to take notice that a lot of the movies are the same. Honestly, if I had to go back and re-rank some of them, Ant-Man and the Wasp would go far, far down, for sure. I would say, honestly, a lot of the ones that people don't think are that good, I would say, yeah, I agree with you now. So yeah, the MCU has some bad entries, but overall, like, they're still pretty good. But the jokes just in this show just didn't really work for me. Episode 4 was the best one for me because it just actually had some tension in it, and the ending was awesome. John Walker killed all those guys, and it was like actually just so insane. You don't expect that from Marvel. He actually just straight up like murdered them, and they finally like treated the villains like villains, which I thought was good because they are not good people. And that was a big problem with the show in general, because Carly, the main villain, and the Flag Smashers, it's a cool idea what they do with them, but I don't think they executed it well, because these people are still murdering people, and I'm supposed to feel bad for them for some reason. And it's like, you're not making me feel anything here. These people are like actually terrorists. And then in the final episode, they have Sam say, you gotta stop calling them terrorists, and it's like, oh my god, okay, whatever you say, man. Episode 5, like I said, was good. Wrapped up some stuff really well. And episode 6 did some okay things, but then also some bad things, like the terrorist line was always not gonna work for me, but some of the action did work for me, and I liked getting to see Sam as Captain America. I thought that was really cool, and like I said, the Isaiah plotline was done well, Bucky's storyline was wrapped up well, everyone's storyline wrapped up pretty well, and they gave us a few teases, and for in the future we're gonna get Thunderbolts, and that seems interesting. I guess I'm excited for that. And yeah, in general, like, the show is okay. I just think, like, it has a serious villain problem. Oh, I forgot to mention Sharon Carter. Huge, like, waste of a character that wasn't even interesting to begin with, so you didn't even have to do this, but, like, oh my god, what did you do? Like, they just don't show us what happens to her, and when she comes back into the story, she's just a villain, and it's like the most predictable villain thing of all time. The only reason I didn't predict it is because it was the most out of place reveal of all time. Like, this is not something you would expect from this character. It's not something that was built up to. Just a total, like, just bewildered on how they did it so badly. So this show was a little bit of a disappointment for me in general. Like I said, it had some good stuff in it, but it also had some stuff where I'm like, really? You could have done that a little better, and you didn't, so. And, overall, I just think it was one of the lesser MCU shows. And I'll go into more of this later, but the MCU Disney Plus shows for me in general have been a little bit hit or miss, mostly miss. Not to spoil future reveals or anything, but some of them were big disappointments. I prefer the Netflix shows overall, even though some of those seasons were a little mediocre. The huge problem is that they started with this show, actually, is that they started making the shows 6 episodes long, and that's just not the right length because you don't have enough time to fit everything you want to do in there. So every single 6 episode MCU Disney Plus show just feels rushed at the finale. I like the finale of Hawkeye. I don't really like the finales that much of every other episode or of every other show, because they just feel rushed and they don't develop. They develop a lot of the plot lines, and they finish off a lot of the plot lines, but they do it in a too fast way, something that doesn't feel earned or something. At least it felt earned in this show. Like, they built up to it because the episodes were a little longer in this show. But yeah, that is my review for Falcon and the Winter Soldier overall. This one was a bit shorter than usual, but I don't have that much to say about it because it's a 6-episode show. So yeah, it's just not a show I really enjoyed in general, but it's not bad. I think I would give it a 3 out of 5. So 6 out of 10, not bad. Needs some improvement. I hope in New World Order they fixed a few of the things, because I know it has the same writing team, and I'm a little worried about that, if that's the case, if they do it as poorly as I thought they did with some of that stuff. But yeah, that's basically going to wrap it up. Next on the MCU reviews, we are going to be doing Loki, a series that a lot of people really enjoy, and I enjoy it to a good amount, to a good degree as well. So I'll give you more expanded thoughts on that in the next video. Thank you everyone for watching this. Give it a like if you enjoyed. That's all from me. Call the Big Yosh out.